Welcome back, guys, to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Dieter Burrell, and we're going to be showing you some new and exciting construction that's been happening in Pensacola, Florida. If you guys know the East Hill area, stay tuned because there's going to be some new construction that's been going up in that neck of the woods. You're going to be all excited, and I'm going to show you some new stuff out there that you're going to see the new construction that's occurring around that neighborhood. I'm going to map it and show it to you guys, but if you haven't hit the like button or you don't know my channel, I am a licensed architect practicing in the state of Florida. And if you guys need any help, just give me a holler. Anyways, smash that like button and stay tuned because there'll be some good videos. Welcome back, guys, to my YouTube channel. Like I said, my name is Dieter Burrell, and I wanted to show you some photos of some construction and some new development that's occurring in East Hill. Not the old East Hill, but the new East Hill. You guys can check out some of these photos. Now, what I did is I went to, drove around that area, the neck of the woods, and I came across some of this construction that was just occurring. I took photos of some of the stuff that's happening. Just starting out, foundations and rebar going in to this couple of houses that are getting built, and I wanted to show you guys just that so you can get a sense of the bones and what it takes to kind of frame some of these residential buildings. Now in the Panhandle, we're known for a lot of wood construction. I know that, me being from South Florida, there's a lot of masonry construction occurring over there. Now the differences is that there's more people in this neck of the woods that can work with wood than there are with CMU masonry blocks. Now if you go down to South Florida, there's probably more people. They don't have an issue because there's tons of masons, and it's really more economical to do construction out of masonry since there isn't that heavy amount of lumber. Over here is cheaper, so you go with the most available material. So as I went to that neighborhood, which I'm going to try to see if I can post a link to the actual location. I wanted you guys to kind of start seeing that. I started showing you guys. I'm showing you guys some of the photos where they're still being framed in and the finishes are being put in. You kind of see this building with the stair. It's pretty, I'm not going to say it's contemporary, but it's very classic in nature as far as residential, because I think they're trying to mimic seaside in some form of fashion. There's a board and batten and a lot of shingled type of roofing. You can kind of get a sense, for what type of architecture that's occurring in this case. So you'll see masonry seems to be. Brick is very popular here in this region because of the northern influence. I think brick has become one of those things. And we're in an area close to Georgia that we can access brick pretty cheap. So a lot of people buy brick and then paint it. To some extent, I don't feel that's worth it to spend the money on the brick and then having to paint it. I know it creates a texture, but you might as well do the building out of stucco or another material. Don't spend the money on the material that's going to get painted on when the brick itself functions as its own barrier, and it keeps the building. It absorbs heat, and it keeps it from getting too hot. I don't know. Again, but people like the approach of painting, but I don't. Now if it was an old building and you want to cover it up and change the look, I would say yeah, you can paint it. And there's different types of paints that are intended for use on brick. I wouldn't use your standard latex, but I would use more of a masonry, and I would check with your local Lowe's or Home Depot when it comes to that. As we move across, I took photos and kind of see some of the finished housing in that neighborhood. You can kind of see some of the buildings. And now there is a brick company that produces a brick that has a stained look to it, and I think they call it some sort of antique finish, which is really neat. Instead of painting it, it's all part of the brick itself. I would take advantage of doing something like that, even though if it was a little bit more, you kind of use it. Now, a lot of the construction here in Florida, you don't see that exterior insulation like you do up north. Now, would it make your building more efficient? Yes, it would. I would recommend doing that, even if it's residential, because you can kind of see down the road there's what they call thermal transmission, where the inside of the building, when it's hot, the studs reflect on the outside of the building, and then vice versa when it's hot on the outside and it's cool on the inside. That's where you bridge the heat into the building. So you're constantly having to fight that. So to create a thermal break, you put rigid insulation on the outside and try to reduce the amount of thermal heat or cold into and out of the house. I can do a YouTube video about that, and you guys can learn a little bit about what that means. Now, I don't know if you guys are catching some of these photos with the second floor balcony. They're doing a product that looks white. It looks like a sheet product. It could be either TPO or PVC roofing material, which is very robust material, and it'll keep you from having water penetrate to the ground floor where you may be sitting when it's raining. So that's a good idea. I like their approach to what they're doing there. It's very, very economical approach. And you kind of see here coastal. You can see from some of these photos where I'll show you. There's Coastal Containers is one of those companies that collect and haul off construction materials. You can kind of see in this case, this house has a nice landscaping, very, very basic and plain. As you know, newer construction, depending on how much money you have in your budget for landscaping, this is what you're going to get. Now, if you're noticing, some of these, or most of these two-story houses don't have a garage. It's all outside parking. Now, when we go around the corner, we start seeing some of the bigger houses that are in corner lots. They end up having a garage, and I'm thinking what they did is they purchased a bigger lot, and they had the ability to access a garage from the side road. In the other houses, it's more of a shotgun lot, and they don't have the ability to be able to have access to a garage. Now, you can kind of see the mixture of materials on the outside. Now, these are running, I believe, close to $600,000 to $700,000. So this is not jump change. And by the way, you may not be getting a sense of it, but a lot of the entry doors into these residences are 8 foot tall. You're looking at either $3,000 to $8,000 doors. They're not cheap, but again, these residences are not cheap. So you can kind of see the exterior material, that wood, water barrier, sheet barrier, called Ford lumber, it looks like. It's sort of similar to Tyvek. Now this one looks like it's very transparent. I don't know what thickness it is, but you kind of find out from the manufacturer once you go online and find out. Stay tuned, guys. I got some video footage and some links, and you guys can check out the footage. I went up close to some of these windows, and I want you guys to check out what type of manufacturer they're using. These are impact resistant windows, and the one thing that you will see in some construction where you see the pegs around the windows, that typically means that you either have a shutter or a fabric material that's to protect the window. Now in Florida, you have the option. I don't care what anybody tells you. You have the option. The code clearly states it's an impact resistant window or an impact code approved window with an impact material on top, like a shutter or a fabric or another type of protection board. And I think you can even use plywood in some cases. Now, don't quote me on that, but there is some verbiage in the code that allows you for that. Now, I don't know if you get a discount when it comes to your insurance company. You'll have to do that your own. You have to do your own homework on that when it comes to that. But I walked up to the window and I was able to take a peek inside. Really cool cabinetry, and I like what they did. There is the only bad side to this, or downside to this neighborhood is that we're literally on a zero lot. You may have like 5 feet between, 10 feet between each house when it comes to setbacks. So you can kind of see you're jam-packed with all kinds of equipment on the adjacent to the house. I like this house because they had the Generac, which everybody should know here in Florida. You are going to deal with hurricanes and power outages, so that's important. So always make sure you have some sort of either a battery backup system or a generator, gas type, because since all the gas lines are underground, you're less likely to have a breakage unless a tree gets uprooted and you have potential issues with gas. But check out this video, guys, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll put more videos and more photos around Pensacola. You guys can enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit some of those videos that I'm going to link up there at the end of the video. So stay tuned, and you guys enjoy.